Hello, my name is Teddy Tovar, and welcome to Learning Contracts for College Students screencast. I hope you find this informative and educational. In my research, I found that Stimson and Laycock preferred a different term or approach to the student learning contract. They preferred the verbiage negotiated learning plan. Not so much the contract word because of the legal aspects or sense of it, and they found that folks in general, when they heard the word contract, they automatically red flags came up in regards to legalities. They were very clear about the negotiated learning plan and what it really entails: agreement of commitment or dedication to what will be studied or learned by the involved parties. Those parties in the developed agreement could be between a student group, faculty and a student and sponsor, like an internship type, employer and employee. So as you can see, the student learning contract, or the preferred term, negotiated learning plan, is very versatile. It can be used in different arenas, not just in the classroom. One thing that Stimson and Laycock were very firm about was the design of the contract. The key thing here was the period of time and how important it is to understand that the period of time will be variable, simply because as you develop a learning contract, it is keeping in mind that it is individualized learning. In other words, everyone learns at a different pace. So that is very key in developing the student learning contract. Dependent on the set goals, whether they are personal versus professional, or a combination of both, then obviously more time or less time will take into play here. The other key thing in the development of time or setting the time frame is the assessment method of a measurable goal. So in the development of the goal, keep in mind that it has to be something that is measurable or something that can be measured. And again, taking into consideration the assessment, the time, and the creation of the assessment to get a full view of what is being taught or learned. Uh, they went ahead and listed some educational payoffs for the learner. It allows for the learner to understand or have clarification of the stakeholders' role in their educational development. And those stakeholders being your tutors, faculty members, employers, or anyone else that is going to be involved in their contract or agreement to help them develop those goals. Um, they're very big on accountability because this allows the learner to understand that it is their responsibility or what it is that they need to learn. Increased learning experience, it gives clarity of the set goals. It allows for reflection based on the developed self-assessment. Now, the beauty of the reflection here is that it allows for the learner to be able to identify those areas of improvement, but it also allows for the learner to understand that there are going to be areas that are of strength and how they can both work with each other to help to better develop the learner. It allows for an experience in collaboration because in the agreement you have a learner and a teacher or someone who's going to help them. So it allows for that collaboration, how to work together as a team to develop these goals and to be evaluated. It is a confidence builder. This allows the student to be able to understand, and I think it gives them confidence that they can accomplish things as they are reaching their goals. It gives them self-confidence. The personal payoff here is for the learner, and it gives them focused learning. Again, because it is individualized, they're setting their goals, they're reaching their goals. So it is focused learning. It allows the student to be more in focus here. Detailed and attainable goals. Again, earlier as I mentioned, it gives you clarity for the goal. And again, it's important that it is an attainable goal. Again, whether it be personalized or professional. Uh, as I mentioned earlier, it is individualized learning. And so with individualized learning, I think this allows the learner to have a better sense of how to use their strengths to learn better and not so much focus on their areas of improvement. It does enhance this individualized learning will enhance critical thinking and articulation skills. And those articulation skills will be needed with working in collaboration with their partners there. And it does have performance accountability. again, it allows for the learner to understand and be focused and allow them to understand that their performance is going to be accountable and they're going to be accountable for it. From the sponsor employer payoff, this is on the other aspect or the other party, it allows for involvement of the student employee development plan. Now, what this does, I think it gives clarity to what's expected of the student, of the learner, and what is expected of the sponsor or employer. Uh, it just gives clarity on what the expectations are going to be. It creates a more effective working environment. If everyone is on the same page, then everyone knows what's expected of each other. This allows for a more effective working environment. It increases efficiency. Again, everybody knows what their roles are. It serves as a great recruitment tool because now the employer or the sponsor has a direct view of the employee or student and allows them to have a fair and equitable view of what's expected and is this person going to fit into that area of culture. It also affirms program relevance, and this is where I found it to be very important, especially coming from a workforce, allied health workforce program, because now the sponsor, or in our case, our clinical affiliates, can see firsthand what the students are learning here in the classroom, so it should be reflective in the clinical setting. So this will reaffirm program relevance. Are we doing what we're supposed to be doing to prepare the student for the workforce? Rye is research wherein he implemented the student learning contract into his respiratory therapy program in the clinical setting specifically, because with clinical education we have sponsorships or our clinical affiliates, and they get to see now and work collaboratively with the student as to what is supposed to be learned. What they found was it did develop a collaborative learning atmosphere, as I just mentioned. It also allowed for synchronized competency-based teaching with individualized learner needs, and those needs being it allowed for enhancing learner independence, involvement of life learning behavior, learner engagement, and more importantly, this facilitated the application of knowledge to practice. As a respiratory therapist, we are very hands-on. Renner, Sitter, and Wong used the student learning contract outside the classroom or beyond the classroom, and they concluded that they had a greater work fulfillment when it came to using the contract. It increased participation in professional continuing education, the learner, and the learner was also more involved in professional organizations within their industries, and it also allowed for an increase in self-direct learning. They found that the students that were involved with the learning contract were more looking forward to learning on their own, not so much being directed, but they sought out to learn on their own. These are some additional resources regarding the student learning contract. If you have the time to read up on them, I suggest you do. Very interesting studies, very different outlooks on the use of them. And this is my reference page. And thank you for viewing. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, as I mentioned, I hope you found it to be informative and educational.